This is Armchair Traveller, 89.7 FM, East Side Radio, presented by Get Up and Go magazine. All right, well, Bev, let's go to a few Thai places now. Asian places now. We'll start with Thailand, which is one of our close neighbours. So it's a great place for us to go. I mean, we often go to Phuket, we go to Bangkok, we get good deals. It's one of those places that we love going, and we love the food.
I think Australians have a wonderful relationship with Thailand, and once you've gone once, you go several times. So that you're always looking for a new experience in Thailand, whether you go north to Chiang Mai, those areas, or you go to the islands, you go to the cities like Bangkok. How crazy is that? It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
But this, we're featuring a story, this issue, and it is north, and it's rafting on and sailing down the River Kwai, and so it's just another experience you can have there. You can raft down the rivers. There's a lot of small ships that travel in that area, which makes it very leisurely, and you can get off. The experience is authentic. You're meeting the local people. There's nothing contrived about it. It's just relaxed, easy, and what the Thailand people are like. They're very relaxed and very welcoming.
And the River Kwai is something that has got a fair bit of historic and emotional feeling for Australians, hasn't it? There's a lot to do with the war and the hardships there. So it's quite a thing to do.
It can be an emotional trip. Some people, a lot of older people, go up there for just that thing. Their grandfather might have worked on the River Kwai, or the bridge over the River Kwai.
Yes.
And we all know about it and what went on there. So, it is an important thing for us. It's a bit like Gallipoli or places in Borneo. We're all connected to that part of the world.
And it's quite nice to have that connection. It doesn't have to be the main part of the trip, but just to go and see it and sort of appreciate it. And Brunei. Now, Brunei's a place that not a lot of Australians go to. They're starting to a little bit more. But what's that got to offer?
Understand a lot about Brunei. They think, oh yes, great big hotels, gold taps, no one in the streets,
king of,
no grog. But it's it's a tight country. It's a dry country. You can buy alcohol and drink in hotels and whatever, but it's very welcoming to tourists. The small area around the hotels is welcoming. There's night markets, but the main thing about Brunei is the beautiful national parks. The animals in it. You can stay in lodges, and there's a fantastic resort. It's called Ulu Ulu.
Oh, Ulu Ulu.
Ulu Ulu.
Ooh.
And it's right in the jungle. Very comfortable. And you can go out on these wonderful day trips it's just real, primitive on the river. So it's quite somewhere to go to. It's special.
I think it's sometimes nice to go primitive, as long as you know that you've got non-primitive at the other end.
Yes. Very primitive during the day, luxurious at night.
Okay, this is Armchair Traveller. I'm Pamela Wright. My guest is Bev Malzard, who's the editor of Get Up and Go magazine, Australia's premier magazine for the grown-up travellers. So we've talked a bit about Thailand. Now, I think we might go to somewhere else in the world, perhaps to Alaska. Now, that's something that is great for cruising, but you don't have to cruise when you go to Alaska. It's one of those places that you can just go straight there, perhaps go to Anchorage, which is the capital. Am I correct?
That's right. Have you been to...
I have not been to Alaska.
Actually, I'm not sure if it's Anchorage or Nome as the capital.
Oh, goodness gracious. We'll have to check our Googles.
Mr. Google. Yes, it's... People are a bit scared of Alaska. They just think it's really cold
and
dark,
miserable, and lots of ice.
I think we got a little bit of an inkling what it was like. Well, it wasn't like it. Remember that TV show? what was it, back in the 70s or 80s? Oh, I can't remember it now anyway. I don't know why I'm talking about it.
If you can't remember it, but that's all right.
Yes, exactly. Us old people talking.
But anyway, off to Alaska.
Yes, that's right. And it did explain that there's a lot going on there, and it showed how beautiful it was in the summer. There's fantastic highways there, and a lot of people who go travelling hire cars and just drive the highways. There's motels along the way. It's simple. There's mountains, flowers, all that sort of stuff. And you're very close to areas where you can catch ships that go into inland, that special...
Through the fjords.
Yeah, and that combined is one magic trip, so I believe.
Well, I think that I would rather like... I mean, I love that cold area. As you know, I loved the Antarctic. But I also think that it would be good to go to... let's say something a bit different, and I think you did part of this. I don't know if you did the whole thing, but Route 66 in the USA. Now, Billy Connolly has got a TV program on at the moment, which I've seen a small amount of, but Route 66 is famous. So tell us about that.
It is famous. I was there recently within the last couple of months. So I went to California, to LA, for a big travel mart, and for 3 days of 6,000 people, so I needed a little bit of respite from the crowds. And so about 5 of us took off, and we just went inland for about 2.5 days and came back out again. But it's extraordinary because it's romantic, it's mythical, it's so rock and roll. It's that kind of place, and people go there. It's a pilgrimage. Parts of the road just peter out now, but there is...
do they?
Yeah, it was very popular miles away before the big freeways came in. Up until about 1927 it started to lose its lustre, but there's a great... return to Route 66. People hire Cadillac. You can hire Cadillacs and go along yourself, and you see the old motels and hotels are all kind of a bit shabby and a bit sad now. But the Baghdad cafes there. Do you remember that movie?
I do, do, and I sort of quite like that.
Oh, me too.
They haven't done it up. They haven't wrecked it. They've kept it as is.
No, well, there's all that.
Or as was.
Very retro, and there's a town called Victorville along the way that's got a wonderful museum, and these really cool old girls run it who are just lovely. And inside is every bit of memorabilia. There's music and old 45 records with songs about Route 66, and that song that was written by Bobby Troop, he wrote that on a trip with his wife.
And it became one of the most...
Yeah, Nat King Cole sang it originally.
Yeah.
Bobby Troop did it. Everyone sung it.
Would you like to sing it?
Oh, no. I've got a bad throat.
Oh, okay. All right. No.
No, look, anyone...
But I think most of us would know it. We certainly would know that it was a huge hit way back when.
Yeah.
No,
well, if anyone's over there, I suggest they go out there because you go through the mountains and it's beautiful countryside, and you hit those national parks as well. The Joshua Tree. And that's rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. Okay. Now, speaking of rock and roll, I suppose Jimmy Barnes is rock and roll. Now, he's done a frequent traveller section for you. He's talked about rock and roll a little bit, has he?
He has, but Jimmy's just over 50 now, so we could use him. We don't use too many young folk.
No.
But it's about where he travels with his family. He loves travelling, and he was very happy to be part of Get Up and Go magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he and his family travel quite a lot, and he's a happy-go-lucky traveller. He just likes good service and nice views. Nothing too flash.
So is he talking about where he's been, or is he just sort of talking about what he likes?
He's talking about what he likes, but also where he's been. I tend to, every issue, I have a frequent traveller.
Yeah.
And I actually ask them the same questions. And so it's interesting to compare them as you go along, each issue. But, you know, I asked him what his worst travel experiences was, and, you know, he says leaving Heathrow in London. Well, you know, I agree with him. But just there, it's personal. Just
Okay.
personal views. And, you know, is he about a beach lounge lizard, a culture vulture, an adventurer? And he's all of those things.
Right.
And he likes to talk about that stuff.
Oh, well,
And I like his travel tip. He says, treat people in their country with respect.
yeah, well, that's probably one of the main things that we should all do, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wish some more people would do that.
Yes.